Good morning, Year 11. Welcome back to class. This week, we're going to move in and start looking at our core text, A Study in Pink. Also, this week, we're going to get our assessment task, and we'll go through that, and I'll make a screencast to play later on. So, what you've done so far is you've read A Study in Pink, you've looked at the original understanding of Sherlock Holmes, and you've started to understand that technology has changed over time. So, in terms of Sherlock Holmes, you should have an understanding now of the crime genre, should have an understanding of what a crime convention is, and what so a convention is an expectation that you expect to find in a particular genre. Then you should have a bit of an understanding of the evolution of Sherlock Holmes. So Sherlock Holmes has had some visuals that have come to him that never appeared in Arthur Conan Doyle's stories, but now do. So we know he's got his special little riding cap. He's got a cane. He's got a magnifying glass. He wears an overcoat, he dresses respectable, and sort of has that air of sophistication. So that's developed over time to get a visual understanding of who Sherlock is. So in this picture over here, this is an image of the study in Scarlet. Even if you have a look at it, it gives us some visual representations. This is Watson on the left-hand side. Now, Watson is the person that tells the story in A Study in Pink. So he's essentially the one that leads us through this story. Then you have the London Eye. The circle there essentially represents his magnifying glass. But then the size of image is we have Sherlock here. Now, Sherlock is a little bit different in this case in terms of the evolution of character. He's not as well respected, and he comes across as a bit of a sociopath. Now, look at the messy hair, that direct stare, etc. But we've got a larger-than-life image over London and over his counterpart. So the visual elements there, the use of technology, have taught us a lot about the characters. All right, so we're going to watch Sherlock Holmes together in class, but it'd be awesome if you've watched it yourself. These are the links, any of those three links, particularly the top one, will take you there. Let's have a look at the lesson. 3 people have already started it. That is awesome. So if we open it up, the first thing we need to do is break down the film when we watch through it. So the first part is to create a quick little summary of Study in Scarlet. The reason behind that is we want you to have in your mind the story itself. So, all right. Then when we're watching it, you're going to look at these 3 things. What are the clear changes in the plot? So what happens in the story that doesn't happen in the Study in Pink? So obviously we've crossed time periods, we've crossed countries. America doesn't appear in this story, for example. And we also have a different society from London. So London has obviously changed in 100 years. So with that comes a change in the actual plot, the storyline. Then we have the expression or development of characters. How do the characters actually change? Is Watson completely the same? Does Enoch Drebber, for example, turn up in here? Who was playing the bad guy? Who was the victim? Are they the same characters? And also, most importantly, how is Sherlock used in this manner? Then last lesson, we looked at the use of camera. So for here, this is a section of thinking. When we read A Study in Pink, it's written in words. You had to create that image in your mind. How does technology actually create the image for you now? So not only are we going to see images of Sherlock, but what's the camera angles that are presented to him? When we're at the crime scene, what sense of close-up shots are used, etc. All right. So then underneath here, here's what I don't want you to look at until you fill that in, is this is my version of that task. You're to read through that afterwards and highlight anything you think that you're going to be able to use when it comes to your assessment task. So very clearly for your assessment task, you're looking at how has technology impacted the way that we express stories. So a large part of that task is talking about the Study in Pink and how it's been changed and adapted and improved through the use of technology. So you look at that task and fill it in. Please don't read this until afterwards. And then afterwards, you're going to come back and do some pure paragraphs. So the other week when we looked at crime conventions, you looked at crime in the Industrial Revolution, crime in World War II, and then use of technology. So you're now blending those 2 tasks together. How does Study in Scarlet fit Industrial Revolution? How does Study in Pink, the film, look at crime afterwards? All right, then here we put the types of conventions that we have. How did it appear in both? All right, my time's nearly up, so I can go through this in class. Good to see everyone again.